manager for your project.
Hey, everybody, I'm Tom Vessel.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
I'm Mike Delisio. Hey there.
Hey, so folks, welcome to Crowdsurfing. You may be somewhat off kilter because today is not a normal day that we do Crowdsurfing. Normally we do it on Wednesdays at 1 or 2 o'clock, and today is Tuesday and it's 11 a.m. Why the change, you may wonder?
Why the change, Tom?
Why? It is.
I wonder.
Well, that's because VirtualCon starts tomorrow.
Oh.
Involved with a Board Game Geek, so we'll be doing a lot of things for that. And as to why it's at 11 rather than in the afternoon, because we already have Corner to Corner scheduled today at 2 o'clock. So lots of things going on, but we did not want to miss out on going over the stuff in the Kickstarter world, even though it is a little slim pickings today. Not completely. There's at least
there's
5
plenty of
series.
pickings.
Yeah. There's pickings, all right.
But slim is not the word I would use for most of these pickings. Let's put it that way. Let's do it.
Alrighty. Well, folks, we're going to get into this and take a look at some great ones, some not so great ones, but there are some good ones. And I think the first one falls into that category, and that's Merchants of the Dark Road. And I know these people have Z automatically because of his love for Atlantis Rising. This is the same folks, Elf Creek Games.
That's right.
So this is, the theming here is kind of interesting. It's your typical merchant type game, but it's done, I think, is it in Russia? Alaska. At night, I think? I'm not sure. I think it's Alaska. Who cares? The components here are unbelievably good.
Yeah, they look amazing.
Some of the best components I've seen for a game in a long time. These wagons here are awesome.
Yeah.
And again, since I just played the Atlantis Rising game,
right,
I know their quality is just through the roof.
Yeah, I have the just the base retail version of Atlantis Rising, and it looks like the deluxe version of any other game you'd get. I'm expecting good things, at least from the components here, and the pictures certainly look that way.
Yep. Yeah, this looks great.
Oh, I want these lanterns. I don't even know why. I want these horseshoes. I want these quartz. I will not get a non-deluxe version of this because I still remember when we played Atlantis Rising and I saw the normal version of it. I thought that's pretty cool. Then I saw the deluxe version. Look at these coins.
Lumi coins. Whip, whip.
I want these coins for all my games.
Yeah.
Let me find
Look at these coin pouches. I don't care about that.
Where are the Lumi coins? Let me see. I'm looking for the Lumi coins.
They're amazing.
I'm assuming they light up because with a name like Lumi Coins, if they don't, that would be a little disappointing, don't you think?
Now, here's the thing, though. The all-in pledge is 125, which is a decent chunk of change, and I'm assuming a lot of that just because of the coins. The deluxe pledge for 74 is probably going to be enough for most people, but those coins do look awesome.
You're not most people, are you, Thomas?
Oh, let me see. Let's find out what most people have back then. 463 normal, 1254 deluxe, and 1571 all in. You're right.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, man. That looks good.
That's
it's
pretty
hard to pass up on all the goodies, all the bits.
Yeah, and
leaving the bits aside, the game also looks pretty good. It looks like a solid mid-weight Euro game, which I really that tends to be something I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a theme that doesn't stray too far from things we've seen before, but they're putting a twist on it. You can tell they're kind of trying to make it more of like merchants is just buying and selling, but this has some kind of intrigue and danger that's implied with the cover and with the title and everything. So I'm interested to see how they put a twist on, just merchants.
But did you see their latest or their 20th stretch goal? The magnetic wheel.
Magnets?
I know,
man.
Wait, where's
I will not back it if it does not hit 325.
Magnetic Bazaar wheel. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it's as good as the ones in Coloma, that's 325. It's 10,000 more in 3 days. It's done.
That's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah, that Coloma magnetic wheel is great. It's a great solution to having something that spins.
Very cool.
All righty. Well, we can't go but up from there, I'm sure. All right. Overlord, a monster adventure. This is from Brotherwise Games. This is in their Boss Monster world here, but this is a different game. It's more of a Boss Monster is just a card game, essentially. Right. This one adds in the board game, still keeps in the... I'm always confused if I'm looking at 8-bit or 16-bit. I think this is 16-bit, but whatever.
Doesn't matter? It's pixelated artwork.
Yeah, pixelated art. Yeah.
This looks like matter, man.
This does not look like 8-bit artwork. Yeah, that would be really...
That'd be like
blocky.
Old school Mario. Yeah, it's probably 16 or 32.
They have Rado saying it's good. I mean,
it might even be 64-bit, but retro
64-bit?
No, we can get off the bit. Listen, did either of you like Boss Monster?
I haven't played Boss Monster.
I enjoyed playing it with my kids. I thought that there were some issues with the gameplay mechanics, but what I liked about it was the twist that you are the monster and you're luring these adventurers. Usually you play the heroes, the adventurers, and what you're trying to do.
I wouldn't call that a twist. That's been done in computer games.
Yeah, I suppose so.
How many bits, Thomas?
That's correct. How many bits?
That's the main question.
Right.
Was it done in 16 bits?
It was a computer game. I don't know.
Got bits, baby.
I didn't like it, but I will say Brotherwise Games has made some pretty cool stuff since then. I also know that even though I didn't like Boss Monster, they've sold the snot out of that game. It's
tremendously popular. Yeah.
Very, very popular.
Unearth was another one that they did
game.
that, correct?
I like that one. Yeah.
This one looks like a tile laying game with some, combos you can build. I think the Boss Monster thing is just, because it's a popular IP for them, and why not? I don't know that it's going to play anything like Boss Monster. It doesn't look like it does.
This looks really good to me, actually. I tend to like the pixelated art when it's done in more of a macro setting like this here, with the different levels and stuff. That's more nostalgic to me than seeing close up pixelated art of monsters.
Yeah.
Like this. That doesn't appeal to me, but the whole board itself does.
Yeah, and when it permeates everything and looks like a video game, then it makes sense to use that kind of artwork,
Right.
If you're just using it because it's easy to make, then what's the point? But yeah, this looks good. I would be more interested in trying this than I would be in trying Boss Monster.
Yeah, Boss Monster wore its welcome out for me pretty quickly.
All right, Hellenica, Story of Greece, Leaders and Legends. This is an expansion where, of course, you can also buy the base game. This is from Mr. B Games, and I don't think Hellenica ever crossed our desk for whatever reason.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Me and Mike found some cards for it.
Just 2 decks of cards. Yeah.
2 decks of cards for Hellenica. There's a possibility that this is in the lost box of Essen and stuff that never made it to us.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
We're going to use that excuse for pretty much everything. I do know those cookies were in that lost box.
Tom, why would you bring up the cookies right now? Why?
Too soon, Tom.
Scott Demers, what else has he designed?
He used to be a baker who primarily made cookies.
Now, whatever. I'm going to look it up on Board Game Geek here.
I'm not familiar with
Scott Demers. No, he just did a game called Realm of Heroes.
Yeah, from Mr. B Games as well.
Okay.
That one I have played.
Did you like it?
I did not.
It doesn't look very good, though. Hopefully this one's better than that one. This one has a nice cover, has a lot of pieces involved. This is one of those ones where I'm going to have to wait and see. I think it's weird that they're calling it a 3.5x game.
What's the X that's being shortchanged? I don't know.
Right.
It's probably like Exterminator.
You could be halfway exterminated. You're not going to be complete. Now, see, stop right there, Tom. You go up. This doesn't work for me at all. Something about this artwork. Something about this artwork just does not fly for me.
This looks like they paused a video, and the guy's now going to explain how there's demon symbols in this music video you liked and you didn't realize, but right here is the moment.
Right. This is somebody who's been halfway exterminated. That's 3.5x right there.
All right, fine. I don't really dislike the art. Well,
I don't like the art at all, honestly.
I don't like the graphic design on this very much. But then again, I mean, Mr. B Games is a small operation. I don't think his graphic design has never been particularly good. This seems to be a much bigger game than usually we would get from Mr. B Games. This is a more grandiose design, it would seem.
Is she wearing lipstick?
Sure.
Hey, look. If you're going to be taming wild beasts, you want to look your best, Tom.
Sure, maybe it's just the lighting.
No,
she has makeup on too.
I think the Griffin had some makeup on, actually. That was an odd choice.
All right. Let's go to the next one. Oh, I'm excited about this one. Dinosaur 1944. Finally, Peterson Games has gotten off the Cthulhu kick, and they're making a dinosaur game. And I know that this might sound like I'm being sarcastic. I'm actually not. Peterson makes big, fun games with big miniatures. My only complaint about this one is I wish it was a bigger game almost, because it's at 100,000. He makes, millions on his Cthulhu Wars and stuff. And I think that's probably because this one's not as big of a game. I mean, it's still big, but it's not Cthulhu Wars big. Although that dinosaur is pretty big.
Yeah. This is one that seems to be very self-aware of the ridiculousness of it all and is leaning into that ridiculousness. And for that, I kind of appreciate what I think they're trying to go for here. I think if they were trying to make this too serious, it would probably be a little off-putting to me. But this looks like that they're getting the tone right. And so I'm definitely interested in, I really like Cthulhu Wars. It's a game that I've actually gotten grief for how much I've talked about it.
I'm pretty sure someone in this group has said Cthulhu Wars was like an essential game or something.
I said, if you want that's my essential big over-the-top game, yes.
But now is it going to be Dinosaur 1944?
Well, I don't know. This doesn't look quite as over the top. I mean, in theme it is, but maybe not in scale and in scope. You know what I mean?
I do like this here, though, their timeline. This is the first time I've seen this. Like, their estimated timeline says we cannot predict the future. Mm-hmm. But they give you, like, an idea of when it will go out, which is not till, like, almost 2 years. However, they show their track record here, which is pretty impressive. I mean, not the games themselves, but most of these games aren't very good, actually.
Yeah.
Cthulhu Wars is good.
Mm-hmm.
Theomachy is a horrific game. Orcs Must Die, not good. Dysenstein is bad. I have not played The Gods Were Evil High Priest. Startropolis I know is good. Planet Apocalypse is out. I didn't realize that. Anyhow, they have good games too.
Yeah, they do. It's little hit and miss, but yeah.
He also designed a bunch of computer games in case you're confused. But I am actually pumped about this. There's no game out there actually that I can think of where you have people fighting dinosaurs. That's cool.
Not like this. Definitely nothing like this, right? Where it's, the full on minis war.
Right.
It's cool. It looks unique. I really don't like the way Sandy Peterson games look. There's just an art style. It's like not liking an artist. You know what I mean? Which is just completely, it doesn't have any rhyme or reason. But
I might agree with that, but I love these miniatures. I think the dinosaurs look really cool.
Yeah.
And now that we have an in-house painter, they're going to look even better.
That's true.
We do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You haven't been here. Holly is now painting quite well, actually.
Really well. Like within days, she's done better than I could have done in years, probably.
And she's still taking like 2 to 3 hours to paint one miniature, but still.
You guys have an in-house painter. You have I believe, a 3D printer.
Yes.
What's up, man? I'm not going
She paints
back.
the stuff while it's being printed. Alrighty. Let's go to some smaller games here. Latte Throwdown. So you like your coffee? You want to throw it? That's not actually what the game's about. But it is a dice rolling game here. I really like the board.
Yeah, I do too.
You have to be careful not to move it, though.
Yeah. This gives me really strong Viva Java, the coffee game, the dice game vibes.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a reprint at first.
Yeah.
Because it's so, it's the disc-shaped tiles or cards. Everything about this, first I saw it, I was like, oh, they're reprinting this with a new theme? Nope. Completely different game. But
this is from Analog Game Studios. What else have they done? They did King of Indecision, On Point, and Demi Dancer. Okay. Actually, I don't think I've played any of these games.
No.
I backed Demi Dancer, but the other ones I haven't played.
Still waiting on that to fulfill?
Yeah, I don't have it yet.
All righty. Well, this one I think looks pretty good. I mean, it's small.
Yeah, it's a nice looking campaign. I mean, I am it doesn't look like
the cover.
It doesn't look like it doesn't look like it plays like Viva Java, but
no.
I'm all for another coffee game. Why not?
This looks fine. This looks like what I think of when I think Kickstarter.
Right.
Feels indie, feels nicely put together. You know what I mean? Like not as professional as something else I might see from an in-house graphic designer or somewhere at a big company. Yeah, I'm feeling the vibe here. It kind of works for me with the indie coffee house thing. Goes hand in hand with this, so I'm good with it.
All right, this one is a pretty small Kickstarter, but I put it on here because I don't know. This, like Z was just talking about Kickstarter. This is what makes me think this is like a cool little project. I think Tobito, a little abstract strategy game, but it looks really good in my opinion.
It looks cute. It's got some funky production, right? It's sort of like little ceramic tiles. Yeah, this guy, I looked at what he's done before, and he's just done a whole bunch of little, like really tiny abstract games, including the last thing he did. He just gave you the rules for the game, and you found stuff around the house.
Wow. Okay.
For his last thing. Yeah, that's what he does. He makes these little abstracts and then kickstarts them. That's totally indie.
Yeah, but I really like these pieces a lot.
Pieces are cool.
Yeah. I mean that mini one is really mini though. I mean that's no joke.
Yeah, I'm not getting the mini one. The normal one is okay. The mini one's $19. The normal one is $28. That's not bad for a game that looks like quality and all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this one. I hope it does well.
I like that it plays 2 to 4. It looks like it should almost be a 2-player game, but I would think it would be interesting trying to get 4 players going at the same time on something like that.
I wonder though if it's 2 or 4. These kind of games don't normally do well with 3.
Probably right.
All right, let's jump into Z's wheelhouse here with 1822, The Railways of Great Britain.
Nice.
And joking aside, this I think is one of the most backed 18X games I've ever seen.
Whoa, it just lost a bunch of money. Whoa.
Like, that's what it looks like? I'm out.
It just lost $2,000. I just watched it lose $2,000.
Someone speculated on the wrong bid there. What's going on?
All right. Well, anyhow,
this
is a new version. They're calling it a new branch of 18XX, and it brings Eurogame auction elements. Okay, fine. This is one of those ones where I'm going to have to just trust what people say. But it's
Why? You're not going to play it?
Maybe not. I'm not a huge 18XX guy. Again, I certainly understand why people like them. Yeah. This one is one of the nicer produced ones, but it still has those same tiles. I use these exact same tiles in every one of those games.
Sure.
And those same colors. But they're talking about having linen finish in this game, and that's not really appeared in these 18XX games before.
Right.
Some pretty nice pieces. That might be why it's doing so well.
Well, and also the price point.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say the price point is such that, I mean, this is not a cheap game. And so it doesn't take quite as many backers to get up there. You know what I mean? Look, I think 18XX people, and I don't mean that in a pejorative way at all. I mean, there's a group of people that love 18XX games. And I would imagine that they are probably happy right now because I'm telling you, it seems like every other week we're seeing another 18XX project that looks, like it's doing very well. So it seems to be, if anything, a small but growing segment of the gaming world.
I'm still surprised the Cranrail games haven't come to Kickstarter. It seems like Kickstarter, this is the place for these kind of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that this one and some of the ones you showed farther down, which I'm guessing are reprints. I don't think they're necessarily new designs, but all their covers are starting to look really good, man.
They are.
No, 18 Chesapeake, I believe, was kickstarted last year. I know we have this one in the Dice Tower library.
Mexico and 18 next to it on the left. The covers are great. The font is great. I like the look of the covers, at least.
Me too. They look cool.
All right, let's get divisive here. Lucky Ducks in a row, the Rubber Ducky dice set. And Mike, you seriously can't say anything against these because of that little Marvel stuff on your desk right now.
Okay, show me where there's a crocodile here or Doctor Strange. If you can point either one of those to me, then you might have a point.
Ooh, look, Captain America.
Look, I really like these. I think this looks really neat.
Oh,
and it's 138,000. I don't care. I knew you guys were gonna be haters. I'm prepared.
If there was Howard the Duck inside those dice, now we can talk.
Ooh, do you get a little bathtub?
Oh, now that is kind of cool.
That's
kind of silly.
Adorable.
The only thing I like now you don't like.
How's that silly, man? You got dice with ducks in them.
Right. I'm down with rubber ducks and dice, but as soon as you put them in a plastic bathtub, now you've got it step too far. This is outrageous.
I'm just saying I don't care about the bathtub. I like these dice. I think this is cool. Here's my one concern that Mike made me all nervous about this, is that if this is a solo person making this, it may be 100 years before you get your dice. I have done dice in the past that are made by one person, and it's a very long process, especially since this has been backed by quite a few people.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many people are backing? 3,000 people? These people, you have one person making these all. 3,000 people.
Get someone else to help him, but it still could be, I mean, unless he's mass producing these. It says estimated delivery August. No, that's December. So, I mean, that's not too far away. Yeah.
That's a lot of rubber ducks.
I'm going to back these. I'm going to back these. You know what? I'm gonna buy you both a set. No, I'm not, because I ain't wasting my money, you fools. All right, let's move on. These look cool.
Oh, all right.
All right. Tales of BarBEAria. This is not the first game in this universe of the most exceedingly cute bears. I mean, this cover here is kind of like the cover that I could see me getting a poster of this and putting on my kid's wall.
Sure.
You know, just of all these different bears. I like the panda bear the best. Well, no, I like that. I don't like zombies, but that zombie bear is pretty cool. So this is it has the player boards. This is from Greenbrier Games. Mm-hmm. I believe Greenbrier started with zombies in the past, but there are zombears in this game.
Zombears.
And fighting them off with your heroes. And with dice, there's the candy horde. I do like this moving secretly thing. You pick your moves and play your moves. I did not play their last game. I believe Sam played their last game that these folks came out with.
Right.
Mm. So is it like a little bit of programming, does it look like to you? Or
yeah, it's a dice placement, take that style game. Barbarian Battlegrounds. This was the original game. This one I did not get to see. This is Tales of BarBEAria. So you can get all of them together here.
Mm.
Right. I think I think there was a little bit of programming in it, Mike. And it's definitely it's very well produced. I did not play it. I did see it, but you're right. It was Sam who reviewed that. Either that or it was in the box that was lost from Essen, if that's what we're doing.
No, that's not the case.
With the cookies.
With the cookies.
The bears ate the cookies.
Lucky flip.
Here we go.
Yes.
Light it up.
All right, Roy, get your pick of the week button ready.
Fund it. Look, it made 21,000. We have to talk about it. It's a fast party game. So how do you play this game? You put out a mat, which looks like a board. Okay, anyway. With a bunch of chips and a bunch of very flagific cards. And you're putting your tokens on the board to guess what the card will reveal. So this is kind of like roulette, but with cards.
Right.
And then you flip over the card and see what happens.
Right. And then you're supposed to have there's like a memory element, and then keep going down. After you've done all of these things, then at the very bottom, you basically roll a die and you get double your points depending on what comes up. It's like, I know they put the word lucky in the title.
That's true.
What point?
Don't accuse of a false advertising.
Right. At what point are you even playing a game, and are you just flipping over cards and rolling dice? I think
their video it's silly. It's like a group of people playing, and then there's an elderly couple next door. They're like upset that they're being so noisy. I don't know if you guys saw it. The guy goes over. What are y'all doing in here? And then he ends up joining the game.
Oh,
okay,
is this the guy?
Yeah.
Is this the guy?
And then at the end of the video, It's the two. It's a young couple. I don't know if they're a couple, but a young man and a young woman doing the actual like pitch of the game where they're saying, "Aren't you bored of playing the same old games? Well, this is different." They're earnest, they're nice, they're lovely, I'm sure, but they are clearly very, very out of touch with games. It's just they are, you can sort of feel it when they're expressing themselves that they just don't play games. They haven't attempted to discover games in half a century. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they came up with this. So it's kind of breaks my heart a little bit seeing this kind of thing. So I don't know. Part of me wants to make fun of it, but part of me is just like, oh,
Yeah. I just know that I just ordered 10 sets of the Lucky Duck dice at this point because I need something. This is just not doing it for me. If I'm going to go luck, I'm going to go with ducks.
All righty. Well, let's take a break here from all of this, and we'll jump to Market Robert, and then we'll be back with some more projects.
This week's Spotlight is brought to you by FunForge.
Welcome to African Empires, the new expansion for Monumental. Behold the splendor of 3 new legendary civilizations, the mysterious kingdom of Aksum, the almighty Mali Empire, and the relentless Zulu Kingdom. Perform chain actions through a new continuous gameplay mode. Expand your civilization to new provinces, from savannah to seashores, and build amazing new wonders. Trade with other cultures. Settle trading posts to pioneer new commercial opportunities and earn trade benefits. Fulfill quests, reserve buildings, master rebellions, bet on the future, and much more. Fully loaded with new mechanics and an acclaimed production value, African Empires is the definitive expansion you were looking for.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game that's currently seeking crowdfunding right now. Maybe I've got a fear of missing out on it, and maybe some of you do as well. Now today, we're going to look at a cute but stabby game full of puns, and we're going to be bears. We're going to go on some adventures. Today, we're going to look at Tales of BarBEAria. Tales of BarBEAria is an action selection and engine building game built off the incredible BarBEAria Battlegrounds game. This time, we're off to find our glory through adventures. The game plays over 3 seasons, made of 3 rounds each, with each round being made up of 5 phases. First up is the planning phase. In this phase, players will roll their dice, also known as their bears, openly in front of all players at the table. Then all players place their dice secretly on their player board behind a screen. Dice can be placed on the battleground, allowing them to raid opposing players' villages. Adventure, allowing them to explore the world and seek their glory. The barracks, which assign bears to stand ready to defend the village. The beehive, in order to collect honey. The temple, to begin life as an elder, allowing them to manipulate fate. And finally, the forge, taking on the role of blacksmiths, collecting and refining ore. Note, you can only place 1 die in each space unless you have multiple dice with the same value. Then feel free to stack away. After all players have made their selections, it's time for everyone to reveal. Phase 2 is adventure. Using dice placed on adventure, players send their bears out to the adventure cards currently available. Be aware, bears from other villages may also challenge you on these adventures as well. It's every bear for themselves. Next up is the brawl phase. Time to raid opponents' villages and prove your prowess in battle. Step 4 is a little more peaceful, as it's the gather phase. Here, bears collect honey, ore, and fate. And finally, in the final phase, it's time to build. In turn order, players may spend resources to purchase from the market, allowing them to empower, hire specialists, gain reinforcements for their village, or even make a grand offering exchanging resources for glory. After all seasons have passed and winter is upon BarBEAria, players check the glory of their villages and their offerings, and whoever has the most glory is the winner. Alright, so that is an overview of Tales of BarBEAria. I loved this. Not only was this cute, it was stabby, It was full of puns. I'm just going to point it out right now. There's a card in there, Bear Down, which is a reference to the Chicago Bears, my favorite team. Really, really love that. I think that might have been pandering to me. No, seriously, this is an excellent engine building game. This is a cute but stabby game. This is full of bear puns. I love bear puns. This is dice manipulation. This is action selection. This is going on adventures. This is take that. There is so much in this game, but it flows in such a wonderful way that makes a wonderful adventure. I really do feel like I'm raiding my opponent's villages or I'm going out in the world. And that's really the meat of this game, is that there are so many different paths to victory here that I don't need to select the same one every time I play. Maybe this time, I'm really going for adventures, and I'm really going to build my engine. Maybe next time, forget that. I'm just attacking all the villages. And I love the decisions that I have to make, because at the beginning of each round, I get this little bit of information from my opponents. They roll their dice in front of me, so I have an idea of what sort of numbers they've rolled. I don't know how they're going to allocate them, but for example, the honey in the game, that can only use 1s, 2s, and 3s as the dice. So if I see my opponents have 1s, 2s, and 3s, then I know they might go for honey, or they might defend. And that's another cool thing. When I'm attacking, it's a risk. There's always a risk reward in this game that really can pay off. But if I attack you and I win, great, I get a glory point. But if I attack you and that risk doesn't pay off, I actually lose a glory point. So just everything in this game just keeps rolling and the engine keeps building. And I'm taking these risks and I'm looking at what my opponents are doing. And sometimes those risks don't pay off. Sometimes I place my dice and I think I've got everything just exactly the way I want it. But my opponents do things that I didn't expect. And now this isn't such the great turn that I thought it would be. Combine that with some really just lovely, cute artwork that I just get a kick out of looking at, and this is just a wonderful game. So I do want to thank BarBEAria for letting me take a look at the prototype. It was a fantastic play, a wonderful addition to the BarBEAria series. If this is a game that interests you, go ahead and check out their Kickstarter page. It's still funding as of the time of this video, and I look forward to seeing you folks next episode.
Alrighty, let's jump right back in with Salt and Sail, a game of discovery during the Age of Sail. This one here from Kazudu Games.
Kazudu.
And let me quick look here because I want to make sure I know this company. They did Salt and Sail in the past. That was canceled twice. They did Glyph twice, but it succeeded on its third time. So that seems to be their MO.
What is going on?
No, look. Glyph, fail, fail, succeed. Fail, fail, succeed.
Right, okay, so why? Is that... It seems like quite the red flag.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
They've attempted to do two things, each one 3 times? I mean...
Right. Eventually we'll get it right.
Well, obviously people are liking this game. I get that people like the sort of thing where you move boats around and collect stuff, and I don't mind that either. But, so I run into a few problems. One, I don't like the graphic design of these islands. Also, they have some really mismatched stuff here. So, if you take a look at this bird, that's like old journal art.
Right.
And you look at rumor cards here, which is modern card design. Then you go to these fortune seeker naturalists, which are, I don't know what these, some paintings. And then the people below them are clearly from 2020.
Right.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
That is too much of a mismatch of styles.
Right.
Also, the 2020 thing, unless this is in 2020, that's pretty bad on my part. People back then did not have haircuts that style or wear the bandana around their head in that particular way. Right. These are definitely people who had pictures taken of them and be put in the game.
I didn't know they had Apple Watches during the Age of Sail. That's interesting.
I don't think there's an Apple Watch. Like, look at these treasure cards. This is another style.
Yeah, it is.
It feels like they took cards from multiple games and put them together.
Right. Yeah, there's no consistency there at all. You're right.
Yeah, that's my problem. I mean, the game itself looks fine. Looks like, fill up your ship with cargo and go around and deliver stuff. I don't hate it. But the graphic design, this one bugs me too much. And those ships
Yeah,
are.
I'm usually the one that's a stickler for that, which is funny why that you're picking up on it so much, Tom. But I
you're
agree with
teaching me,
you.
Master.
Oh, okay. Well, I do believe then that the student has become the teacher. Then.
I've been waiting so long to hear that.
So
All
this is only the second attempt at that. They
No, that's the
No, this is
third.
the
He
third
will-
Oh,
attempt.
so this is the one that's going to actually.
Yeah.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
this one is funded.
Okay.
I have to keep an eye on these guys for
Right.
whatever they do next. I'll be like, I'll come back in 2 more tries.
Come back on the third one.
All right. Well, let's not. I'm not gonna.
Well, let's not
persistence
what?
is not
Let's
a-
not what? Salt and sail? Whatever.
Persistence is not a bad quality.
No,
All
it's
right.
not. That's true.
Sugar
it
Heist. Here's $104,000 based on excellent gameplay or cute art.
And he's a
is. Known
YouTuber
from
too.
something else?
Yeah, he's a YouTuber.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with him, but you can tell that he has a built-in audience, and I think collaborates with other people that have audiences that are going to get people driven to the project.
Yeah, this is your typical, looks like a take that style game. I mention it because it's making $100,000. But this guy makes animated videos, and so I can't fault that people are going to back this. If you like a video, of course you're going to get a game based on it.
Sure.
Diaper Bomb. That's what I want to. That's the card I want to play.
No, that's a whole
That's a
expansion.
mini game. That's a
Yeah,
whole
mini
mini game, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, hey, Z, I know we've been locked up together. You want to play Diaper Bomb? Wait, where'd you go? Did you hang up? Z?
Diaper
Oh,
Bomb is
boy.
definitely a 3.5x game. Nobody wins Diaper Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Well, the artwork's cool.
It's I'm sure that again that there's an audience for it. Clearly
It's
there
cute.
is.
All right, now let's talk about a Kickstarter that this must be the third time this one was launched because I feel like it should have come out in 2018. But no, we waited till 2020.
This is
make the
blowing up
terraforming-
though. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. Well, I mean, that people have been waiting for this for a while. If you go to Etsy and look for 3D
Yeah.
components for games, I might argue that there's more for Terraforming Mars than every other board game put together. There's that many people making stuff for it. I mean, look how many we've gotten in the mail. We have enough for like 8 sets.
Oh. Okay.
And part of that's because the board is that bad looking,
Right.
in the game itself, which I'm really noticing now because I've been playing the app so much.
Mhm.
When you go back to the board game, I'm like, ugh, what is this?
So Tom, what part of this is most exciting to you? Is it the 3D tiles? Is it the
Oh,
large
no.
box? Is it the
It's the
storage?
box.
Is it?
Now, don't get me wrong. These tiles are neat. And there's one thing I do like about these tiles. It looks like they have made a ton of different styles. So they have a unique look to the board, if that makes sense. It's not every tile is not the same.
Right.
Sure.
So I think there's like 6 different cities. I like that, even though I will say they do not look that much better than something 3D printed, but maybe they'll look better in the final product.
Sure.
The divider, it's this right here.
Right.
The fact that everything fits together, that's awesome. I mean, that's my biggest problem with Terraforming Mars is it's really hard to store all of it right now.
Mhm.
Now my problem with this is it's expensive.
Sure.
It cost $79 just to get the stuff, not the box. You just get
Right.
if you just want the tiles and everything. But if you want the box itself, that's $99. But then all this other stuff here are add-ons.
Right.
The metal resource cubes, the rover mini. Now I actually have that rover mini. I wanted at the I got it at the Secret Santa we did.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that rover mini is worth $10. That's a first player marker that costs $10.
Yeah.
Player boards are fine. These came out in the last expansion, so they're just redoing those. The
Sure.
city domes are cool. That's kind of a neat thing. The trade fleets are if you have the thing. And the metal resource cubes, I think I have metal resource cubes. I don't remember if I got them. I don't remember where I got them from. But that's $60.
Wait, those resource cubes are not metal in the original game. They look like metal.
Nah, they're like painted plastic.
Yeah.
I think.
Plastic with some coating on them.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, I have metal cubes. I'm not sure where I got them. But $60 for metal cubes. I mean, you add all this together, right? So it's
Right.
110, 20, 35, 145, 55, 165, plus another 100 here. And that's 265.
Yeah,
Actually, and then you can also pay $179 to get everything but the base game for $179. and then everything for $224. But again, it still doesn't
Not
include
the
all the
add-ons.
add-ons.
Right.
So
Oh,
for
that's
all the
not the
add-ons,
add-ons.
so if you
Wow.
want everything, if you never played Terraforming Mars, you want the game, all the
Correct.
expansions, everything that's
I don't
add-on
own
here.
it. I played it one time with you and Stephen Bonacore, which was
Well,
quite the
then
experience.
a cool $400 will get it for you.
Wow.
I'm in like Flynn.
I'm sure. Now, again, this sounds negative. I don't
Wait, does
mean
that
it
get
to
me
be-
all the expansions I just saw in that picture too?
Yeah,
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
400. Yeah. I
That's
like the
everything.
game
Okay.
a lot. Terraforming Mars is one of my favorite games. I think it's really cool what they're doing here. Some of the stuff I don't care about, like these player cube holders, are not as cool as they sound because you have to actually stack them in nicely when you're done.
Right.
It's all well to pull them out. When you're done, you're like, all right, now we have to stack all the cubes in. I'd rather just be a container with loose cubes. The card sorters, I mean, it looks cool. It's great, but it's pricey. That's the negative.
I also wonder, though, because it looks like the storage is set up for sleeved cards, and if you don't sleeve your cards, what are you going to do with all that extra space?
Usually
think
when
it's
they
gonna
do
have
that,
it,
it's
though.
not too bad. It's
Yeah.
close enough.
Yeah, maybe you could use a little foam or something.
But I will say the sleevers seem to the people who sleeve their cards get like really upset, like, oh, there's not enough space for sleeve cards. But if
Right,
it's the other
right.
way around, they don't seem to care as much, which seems
Yeah.
pretty cool to me. All right. Enough talk about
I think
Terraforming
this
Mars.
is good. I think it's really pricey, but I think it's nice that if this is someone's favorite game, that this
Sure.
is available. I could see somebody jumping in there for a few $100, and you have
Yeah.
now a master's set of your favorite game. That's cool.
Almost
I agree.
13,000
No, it looks
people.
really cool. Yeah. All right, the Deadeye, a solo card adventure. So this is a solo game that for some reason they made its goal 9,999, but whatever. It features stereoscopic 3D.
Yeah, it's weird. Very gimmicky. Very gimmicky look there.
It is,
Yeah. I'm excited about this one because I like the company and I like the stuff they've done before. The ones I've played anyway.
Let's
I
see what
think-
they have done here.
The
They
one
have
I've
done-
played
Oh,
is
Ancient Terrible Things. That's a good game.
and that Conja game is a 2-player game, which I quite like. I think it's a very good dice game.
Mhm.
Very, very interesting look. I like the look of their games. Their artist is great. And
Well, they have a distinctive look. It doesn't look
Yeah.
like other people's stuff.
That's right. Yeah, it's one artist that works with them, and I think that's a great way
Yeah.
to do it because then your company develops its own brand.
Sure.
And this looks neat to me. I like it.
Yeah. Now this makes a little more sense because I played Snowbound and it has that same art style. You're right.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is interesting to me. The kind of the way that you have good or bad outcomes, and that's going to determine how you place the cards. And I mean, I'm certainly obviously as a somebody that likes to play solo games, I'm my eyes are stereoscopically open for this, but I don't quite get it. Do you feel like you have a good sense on how it plays, Z?
I don't.
Yeah,
I do
that was
not.
my issue.
This is one that upon like first blush, let's say, I was tempted to back. That's pretty rare for me. I like the company. Like I said, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. They're back. They're doing something new. I don't care about the stereoscopic thing as far as like buying it. I don't care
Right.
about that. It's so gimmicky.
Sure.
It's like, oh, but it's a cool solo game. Neat. And then every time I saw one of those animated, screens, I just can't put my finger on how you play. It just seems like all I'm seeing is matching cards, and now shove it on the left side, or when they push, you put this one on the right.
Right.
Now turn it sideways and put it above the board, or inside of the other card. And I'm just like, what's happening?
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at too.
So I would have to dig in a little more and figure out exactly how it works to feel comfortable jumping into this a little more.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, Pizza Rush, a fast-paced card game. It's a cheeky and easy-to-learn strategy game about pizza. With as popular as pizza is, I'm surprised there's not like a pizza game on Kickstarter every 2 weeks.
It is true.
I think this game is on Kickstarter every 2 weeks. Actually, this is the 12th time. They tried this.
It is not.
Yeah, this does look like a lot of other games, though. You're so right. This looks like 40 other games.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a kind of a take that style game. I like the graphic design though.
Yeah.
I think it's a clean looking game.
Very clean and simple. Yeah, I do like the look of it a lot.
This looks like an app.
Yeah.
You know, it's got that
There you
vibe.
go. All right, then we have Seven Fortunes, the Greek Mythology Edition. That's a 2-6 battle arena board game with some fairly realistic art, and I think that's a young John Travolta. Doesn't it look like him a little?
Yeah, I'm looking for Gabe Kaplan. Where's Cotter?
Why not?
I don't know what's going on here. This thing threw me off when I started scrolling through it. I am not a fan of the graphic design on this at all. At all.
This video I did not watch, but he definitely looks like he's going to try to sell me a car instead of a game.
Yeah. There were a couple. I remember now. There were a couple of very interesting quotes that the designer made about his own game that I found interesting. I think they're a little bit further up.
Yeah, but the people, the reviewers seem to be liking it.
They do seem to like it.
There were some interesting quotes, though. Mike's not wrong. And the person that the quote is attributed to, I was just a little thrown off.
Yeah, I'm wanting to
find out which ones, and I probably shouldn't be calling out any one of them. Right. But yeah, it just seemed I don't know. This one I was not
What's
getting
the last
a good feeling
game these folks
from it.
have made? Oh, same thing but canceled. Okay. All righty.
Then it's not going to work. Third time, as I understand how this goes. Yeah, I don't know.
No, this one's funded. Nah, it's fine. I hope it's good. All righty. Monumental African Empire. So Monumental, they timed their Kickstarters to come out right around the time they're delivering the actual game, which means people are going to be pumped. This adds 3 more civilizations, the Mali Empire, the Axum Kingdom, and Zulu Kingdom. So if you played this game, it's a deck building game that has kind of a soldiers on a map field to the side of it. It's not the main part of this game. Phenomenal artwork in this game, and really, phenomenal pieces across the board.
Yeah,
but it's actually a really good deck building game. And as far as I can tell, this adds some new stuff to it. That has by the way, this is one of the few times, folks, where you should seriously consider maybe not getting the deluxe version.
Yeah,
it depends how tied you are to miniatures.
Right. Yeah, because the minis are large enough that they almost don't fit on the tile, especially at the beginning when you're putting them all on your starting tile. They're really pushing the edge. Now, once you get going, but you don't need them at all. The tokens are fine. The one thing that they did kind of add with this is this idea of the continuous play mode, which some people complained that in the original game, especially at higher player counts, there was too much downtime. And so now they've addressed that with this continuous gameplay. But from what I understand, you could do that right now. You don't need extra components. They're going to add some to make it maybe a little bit easier. But
are these printed somewhere?
Yes, the rule book is actually available right there. You can click it and it'll tell you how to play.
Maybe we'll have to try this continuous play mode.
Yeah,
that does sound interesting. That is definitely the game's flaw, is that you can sit there and wait, especially in a 4-player game. That's why I think it's best at 2 currently.
Or solo. It's a really good solo game too.
Yeah, whatever. So this is really just this Kickstarter is doing well, not necessarily because of the expansion, but because people now can buy the base game.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I haven't played it, but it sounds to me like
if you look here,
giving...
only 83 people are backing the expansion. Well, actually,
there's a lot of different pledge levels though that you've got.
Oh, never mind. Okay, I see. But there's gonna be a lot of people probably adding it on and getting everything, I would imagine.
Right.
Seems like this would get some of the same complaints you were mentioning about Terraforming Mars, though, with the overdone sort of aspect of it.
Yeah, like I said, but the thing is, I really like the miniatures. I really like them.
They're really nice. Yeah.
I do want to take a look here, though, at Monumental real quickly. This one was, when did this? Yeah, they said that they would deliver this in September 19, and it actually came out just a few months ago. I know there's some complaints with FunForge about the length of their delivery. However,
they've had issues. Yeah.
Monumental is one of my favorite games I played this year. It's fantastic. Me and Mike both really, really like it a lot. And so this is just more stuff for it, and it's a way to jump on if you've not played the original game.
Correct.
All right.
All righty. Your friend is sad. Now, I'm assuming this means your friend is not happy. Because
correct.
As opposed to what?
It's not a value
my daughters will
judgment.
say this. They'll be like, hey, your friend's sad. It's not that kind of.
No, I don't think it's slang. I think they're being literal here.
Oh, got it.
So they brought in a lot of people who I recognize by their art. These are various comic strips from all over the thing here. This is another. This guy makes games that aren't. Again, I put this on here because it's making 88,000, so we can't ignore it.
Is this supposed to be just a conversation piece? Is this an actual game? I'm really confused.
It looks like they're trying to make it an actual game. I mean, as much as any of these are.
I definitely recognize this dude and these pictures. I've seen them on like Facebook posts and internet memes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't read this particular comic. Oh, this guy made the Pretending to Grown Up game. That's right. I remember seeing that one. And Heck, the tiny card game. Don't we have that one here somewhere? I think it got lost because it was so small.
Maybe.
I
think it's just internet artists that are, again, they're going to have a kind of a built-in audience.
Right. Pass.
Yeah, doesn't look very inspiring to me, but some people obviously will be interested.
All right.
I'm going to get it for Tom and give it to him.
This should just be called...
Me to you, Tom.
This right here should just be called Tom Vassal, the Kickstarter.
Agreed.
Mystery Dice, the Kickstarter. All right. Well, actually, I know who these people are. This is from John Wrot. These are the folks who made Halfsies Dice in the past. And so they have a bunch of people making dice. And just as a heads up, you can see set theme, the Dice Tower set 25. They asked me to design a set of dice for them, basically, which involved me picking some colors. John Wrot's logo also looks suspiciously like the Dice Tower, but we'll let that slide. So they're not showing the dice. This is weird.
Yeah.
I would not back this based on that. You know what I'm saying? I would back it based on the fact I know John Wrot. I know Halfsies Dice. He actually sent me some sample dice, so I get some ideas on designing the dice. But as a backer, this would just scare me.
It is cheap, though. It's really cheap.
Yeah, and it says right there, like them or send them back.
That's a pretty strong.
Yeah.
That's a pretty strong thing there. So yeah, go for it. But I will say his dice in the past, and I'm surprised he doesn't show more of them.
Yeah, why wouldn't he show
That's what
his
I would
older
have
dice?
done.
Yeah,
because his other dice, he did that. Well, I'll show y'all here. This is his 16th Kickstarter. He does some games too. But look here, Christmas dice, the glitter dice, and then the thing he's most famous for are these Halfsies dice. They're really good dice. I've always liked his dice. So that's
obviously he's fulfilled a bunch of dice-based Kickstarter projects before, so there is a track record there.
Right.
And he also
have to worry
has
about
strong
being
convention presence.
Right.
I've seen a lot of his dice at conventions. I really do like these Christmas dice. I should have got some of them. Oh well. Yeah, the glitter dice. I just got some in the mail. They're really, really nice.
All right.
All right, two more things here. Final 9, a disc golf card game. If I'm not incorrect, this is the first disc golf card game, which has some really interesting graphic design. These cards are really pretty, like a swath of colors.
I got to say, I could not be less interested in disc golf, but there's something about the look of this game that if it was at a table, I would absolutely want to play it because I like the way it looks. I like the little descriptions that I get for the type of thing you're doing. I mean, this looks like there might actually be a game here. So again, I don't have any connection to the theme. I'd like to go back.
Why do you hate disc golfers?
Because I've found them all to be really, really tiresome people. No, I don't know anything about disc golf other than
Frisbee.
Right, I understand that. I mean, I get that, and I seem to remember the holes are basically these chain, they're on poles and they've got chain baskets, and you're supposed to get them in the chain baskets. And I guess there are different types of frisbee. I guess I know more about disc golf than I realize. Different types of frisbees. If you're, like a putter.
We're gonna pan out, and you're gonna see a stack of discs in the background on this shelf.
Yeah.
Look, maybe I've played disc golf professionally for 5 years, and I just haven't mentioned it. I'm just gonna say no. I don't know much about it, but it looks good. Is what I'm getting at. I'm kind of surprised by how appealing this is to me.
I think that's the power of good graphic design.
Yeah.
This game is almost. I think this might almost be like a joke, and there is no game, and they're just like making a point somewhere.
Maybe
They're just like, listen, we never designed a game. We were just trying to show you that if you have good graphic design, people will buy your thing. So hire us to actually graphically design your actual game.
I'm not hating on this. I'm gonna try this when it comes out.
Oh, there it is.
there it is.
Chain basket.
And there's me about 400 yards back, getting ready to do a disc in one.
Sinking it.
That's
Sinking
that's a really pretty area too.
Yeah.
All right, final one. So every once in a while, I am flummoxed by a Kickstarter, and this is one of those times.
Yeah.
Now, I want to be clear before I get jumped on by everybody in the audience here. I don't hate this game or think it's bad, but it's made $750,000, and I have not played the other. Let me quick look here. This company.
Tortuga and
I think Z's played all these, right?
I've played a couple of them, I think.
So there's Deadwood 1876.
right.
The Salem.
Salem, I think, and maybe that Deadwood. I forget if I played the Deadwood one.
And Tortuga, and these, whatever these are, I don't know if they're just getting the word out there. I don't know what's like bringing so many people in. It says they've sold over 100,000 games.
People like the old ones. These guys are kind of like the social deduction company. You know how the guys who do Good Cop, Bad Cop try to be the social deduction company? Mm-hmm. And they are, to a degree. These guys are also doing that. All those games he just showed, they all look like they belong to a series, which is has appeal.
I like the way those
They're all social deduction games. They're all like, 4 to 9 players or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's
again,
it. I think after
it's
3 of them, this
is
making money.
Right.
It's just amazing to me how many backers there are. I'm just not used to seeing a $750,000 project without miniatures, without anything else. Right. I do like this box here that has that little rolled up thing inside it. And that looks really cool.
I'm telling you, the look of the components to me are impressive. And I even, I know it's a dark theme, clearly, the Black Death, but it's kind of appealing to me. What is throwing me off is that it's a social deduction game that will go all the way down to 1 player. I don't understand quite how that works. It looks like it says that the more players you have, the more it leans into the social deduction, and the fewer players you have, the more it leans towards strategy. But I don't know what that means. You know what I mean?
If you're just playing by yourself, you draw a card, and then you try to guess if you're the trader.
You try to guess, do I win or do I lose? I always lose. Yeah, so I don't know. The pieces look good, and the art looks good.
They really do. I mean, I want to be super clear, because every time I say this, I get chewed out. It looks good. It's just surprising to me that so many people backed it when there's a lot of other games that look good too that don't have a lot of people backing them. So there's got to be, people must really have liked the previous games of this company.
What did you think of the previous games?
They trust the company,
Yeah.
They always deliver. They trust the company. I thought Salem was okay. I would rate that like a 7, and I think the other one was a little lesser. I don't think they've gotten better. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't believe I played any of these, unfortunately.
Salem's fine. Salem's got, they all have a very distinct look. They look good on a shelf.
Literally.
Yeah, there's
books.
that. Yeah, the book thing isn't a bad look for sure. No, it's not. Especially, can you imagine once they get to like 8, 9 games, going to a convention? That's great look for a board game company.
Absolutely, yeah.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that is it. That's it. Oh, except wait. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's it, huh? Wow.
All right. What do we got? We got all kinds of things. I'm heading back to those dice.
Get back to those duck dice.
All right, Tom. What's your pick of the week here? What do you got?
It was a hard call because I really wanted to lean into.
There it is. Were you duck?
I'm not doing. Look, I like the duck ones. I'm picking Dinosaur 1944. Woo! And I'm not saying that ironically again. I just like the idea of dinosaurs fighting army men. It's cool. It's exciting to me. This one looks like a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. The Monumental expansion, great.
Yeah,
you're right. But I'm okay with that.
Versus plastic army men.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to imagine that a lot of kids played. You know, they took their plastic dinosaurs and their plastic army men, and that probably is where the idea came from, you know?
Well, when I was growing up, what I would do was play with stereoscopic glasses. So my pick is going to be the Dead Eye.
Wow.
So a solo adventure, again, based largely on the graphic design of the cards and the company that is, and the stuff they've done before. This is one that I'm surprised is not getting a lot of love, especially considering how much people love solo games.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the stereoscopic thing is working against them here. I don't know.
Perhaps. And also the fact that it's kind of hard to tell what's going on, as we said. I wish they were a little clearer with how the game works.
Sure. But I'd like a game that looks like there's tons going on. If I'm just going to be playing by myself. That promised me some replayability, hopefully, you know.
Yeah, that's true. No, I'm intrigued by it. I wanted to, I looked, carefully at putting Monumental, but that's an expansion. I want to go with something that is a base game. So I'm going right to where Tom's already got his arrow hovering over it. The Merchants of the Dark. Yeah, he knew.
This was also a runner-up for me. This one looks really good.
It looks great.
It looks fantastic, and I'm very, very much looking forward to giving this a shot. Hopefully, when is this supposed to fulfill?
Probably 21.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, January 21. That's not too far away.
Not too bad. So, if it's half as good, and I mean that literally, if it's half as good as Atlantis Rising, it's still going to be something that's quite exciting. So, very much looking forward to this.
Yeah.
All right, the internet has spoken, and they want us to look at the massive gelatinous cube.
Oh! Can I change my vote?
This is a 2-inch 6-sided die that's also a gelatinous cube. It's actually kind of cool looking.
Are there pips? So I guess the skulls are supposed to be the pips?
Sure, but you could also use it as a gelatinous cube miniature in your games. Look, there's a die and a die.
Wow, the skulls are the dots on each side. There you go, Z.
Okay, all right. I like it.
I'm backing it. When's this one coming out? July? No, that's a 3D file. I'm not printing it myself. You give it to me. Oh, that's 21? Oh. Maybe I'll print it myself.
Now, here's the thing. If they were able to have this where the die inside of that gelatinous cube was one of the duck dice, now I'm in. Now you've got me in.
Agreed.
That's the combination everyone's looking for.
All right. Well, alrighty. Well, that's that, folks. We'll end with a gelatinous die. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back online in a few hours, in 2 hours actually, to go on face-to-face with Wrot for Corner to Corner. So we'll see you then. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thanks, everybody.
I'm Mike DeLisio. Take care, everyone.
Have fun gaming.